Utanipata kwenye gate kama ni appointment. You know that I won't be late. No, this story najua well not relate. So katama mtumbili sote to participate. Take a selfie.
Leo nimekam ku get down. Leo nimekam ku get busy. You've been on my case for a while, but baby I am not that easy. I'm feeling some type of way. Nishike kama siku za mwizi, tupige kama gym tuko tizi, nipike kama toke mandizi. Yeah. Today is your lucky day. What you gonna do now that you have me all to yourself? So come and get this before we get down to business. See a selfie, baby now my lover. Do a selfie, number one lover. Take a selfie, baby now my lover. Do a selfie, number one lover.
Now you can get your Uber ride with a phone call. Call 0800 722 000 to ride. Looking for an institution to further your studies and wholesome growth in a serene environment? Methodist University Kemu is your best choice. Join our market-driven programs at Diploma, Bachelor's, Master's and PhD in Meru, Nairobi and Mombasa campuses and shape your career path. September 2019 and January 2020 intakes are ongoing. Call us today on 0724 256 162 or 0725 751 878. Kenya Methodist University. The future is here.
Kitambo nilikuwa natamani sana kuwa lawyer, nikatamani kuwa pilot. Eventually dream ya ngoma ilikuja ikatake over mpaka nikasahau kila kitu.
We're driven by the desire to see people aspire to greatness and achieve it. That's why we create platforms for all to showcase their talents, connecting them to opportunities. Tuko nawe kila wakati.
When the spirit of Kenya got going that magical day, it never looked back. And now, the same spirit is ready to take Kenya to the next level, led proudly by a new generation. Kenya Kin, Shangilia, Hustle ya Kenya.
Do you like a challenge? Are you an innovator? The EcoSafi Innovation Awards is calling for innovations that provide sanitation solutions for domestic and industrial waste. These solutions should be centered around storage and on-site treatment, conveyance or transport of waste, off-site treatment, and safe end-use or disposal. To participate in the EcoSafi Innovation Awards, register through our online submission platform on the Ministry of Water and Sanitation website. EcoSafi, sanitation for all.
This is NTV.
It's one of those dark days for the people of Marsabit, the community yet again having to confront its grief under a cloud of fear as a wave of violence barrels through the villages and death leaves behind its cruel footprint. Armed gunmen in the dead of the night laid waste to the innocent, the defenseless, and the unlucky. And these are the latest echoes from the cruel hands of Marsabit, where life has been marked by death and blood. NTV Weekend Edition starts now. These are our other headlines.
Tonight, 12 Kenyans dead.
7 Kenyans of Kibra community died. 4 adults and 3 children between the ages of 13 and 15. among them a female child.
2 separate bandit attacks, hundreds of livestock driven to Ethiopia. And 6 dead in a suspected malaria flare-up.
Mimi mwenyewe nimeweza kuona watoto 6.
Residents decry lack of health facilities. Plus, a census enumerator attacked in Maseno.
They raped her, and when she made some noise, police officers came to her rescue.
Exercise continues countrywide for the 2nd day. Also tonight, it's shorter and slow-paced. An Eldamaravin church catering for the elderly.
NTV Weekend Edition with Mark Maasai.
Welcome to NTV Weekend Edition. Our sign language interpreter tonight is David Agondoa. And we begin with some grim developments from Marsabit. And tension has gripped Forole area of the northern county as residents have started to flee their homes for fear of attacks after 12 people were killed this morning. 6 other people were seriously injured as militia suspected to be from Ethiopia stormed the location in North Hort constituency and made away with 500 herds of cattle and 1,000 goats.
Forole area North Hort constituency, Marsabit County, has once again been thrust into the national headlines following fresh attacks that have this time claimed 12 lives. Just like it happened 4 months ago in May, armed militia suspected to be from Ethiopia raided 2 villages, Manyata Koroso and Kumbi Ires Burale, both in Forole, and made away with livestock. Police confirm in Manyata Koroso 5 people were killed, all male Kibra adults, while 3 were seriously injured. The bandits also made away with 500 heads of cattle. In Kumbi Ires Burale, police say 7 people were killed, 4 adults and 3 children. The attackers are suspected to have crossed the border at around 4 o'clock this morning and ambushed herders at a watering point. Police spokesperson Charles Owino says they are looking into the fresh flare-up of violence and assured that the situation will soon be under control.
These are pastoralists, and there is pressure on water and pasture from both sides. And pastoralists have traditional culture of cattle rustling, and we are always in contact with the Ethiopian government, and we work very closely.
Police also say this could have been revenge killings, as a few days earlier, Kenyan herders reportedly crossed the border into Ethiopia and killed some of their citizens.
Equally, we got also reports from Ethiopia claiming that our people also crossed to their side and killed 2 people. So these are unfortunate incidences that may occur, but we are taking care of them and ensuring that they don't interfere much with the exercise that we are carrying on with.
The attack now casts doubt on the success of the ongoing census, as a number of families have fled their homes in fear of reprisals. In May, 11 elders were killed by armed militia from Ethiopia, who reportedly lured them to a peace meeting at the border. The elders were made to believe they would be meeting their counterparts from Ethiopia to discuss how to share a waterhole and pasture, only for the gunmen to open fire on them. Kennedy Muredhi, NTV.
To more tales of devastation coming from the country's north, and medics from Baringo County Referral Hospital have been dispatched to Tirioko Ward and surrounding areas of Tiati Sub-County, Baringo County, to help contain an outbreak of malaria that has so far claimed 6 lives. Among the dead is an 11-year-old who died while waiting for medical help. NTV's Sharon Baranga reports.
The cries of a mother who lost everything. His 11-year-old son succumbed to malaria at Kongor, Baringo County. He is said to have waited for more than 7 hours for a team of medics from the county to attend to him. A number of people in Tiati have been diagnosed with malaria. Some have to walk for kilometers in search of treatment. Others could not make it. So far, 6 people have died. At Kongor Dispensary, which is yet to be completed, patients are eagerly waiting for medical assistance under shrubs and dry riverbeds. Everyone here is weak. Children are the most affected.
Wamama mmepotesha watoto sana kwa sababu hakuna hospitali.
Mimi mwenyewe nimeweza kuona watoto 6 ambayo wameweza kuwaka, mwingine tu wa 6 ndio wameaka tu saizi hapa hivi.
Residents say there are no medical facilities in the entire region of Akoret Division, while the health center, which is still under construction, has stalled for more than 2 years.
Daktari amekuja Karad, akarudi sibuhi akasema kuji. Watu Kongor nyangoje mpaka saa hii.
It's now 1 week. Tumeweza ku experience watu wameweza kuwa wagonjwa wengi sana, na jana watu wa LD walikuja na wakathibitisha kwamba ni malaria.
County Executive in charge of health, Mary Panga, admitted to the upsurge of malaria cases in the county, a situation that was compounded by lack of health facilities due to insecurity.
So sometimes when we bring people, it's a bit of they are not comfortable because of the security issue, the Capedo issue, which is in close proximity to this place.
Desperate, residents are now forced to tie a piece of goat skin on their necks, hands and legs and smear themselves with white clay as a measure to appease the bad spirits they believe cause malaria. Currently, the most affected areas are Kongor, Kulel and Kapau, with over 70% testing positive. Bodies of the deceased were decomposing in nearby bushes where they had been disposed. In 2017, malaria claimed 18 lives in Baringo County. Sharon Baranga, NTV.
Let's have a look at why this is not just a big deal for Baringo, but for the nation at large. And here's the reason. Quick facts about malaria, which is considered or actually placed as the second highest cause of death in Kenya after pneumonia, and the third being cancer. Many people thought cancer was even a bigger cause of death in Kenya. Now, malaria, as you may well remember from your biology classes, is caused by Plasmodium parasite spread through bites of infected mosquitoes. Now, these little demons, or if we can just call them these nefarious pests, roughly the size of a grapeseed, has been at the front line of history as the Grim Reaper. Now, according to the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, 16,000 people died of malaria in 2016. These are the latest figures that we have out, representing a 23% drop from 2015, when 20,691 people died of the same cases of malaria reported. Now, looking at the region, the country, coastal region, counties bordering Indian Ocean have the highest malaria burden. Counties around Lake Victoria have the highest malaria prevalence rates. Now, in terms of prevention, insecticide-treated bed nets are the primary preventive tool used. And just to look at the common symptoms that you may be able to identify, it's that there's shaking chills or high fever, or even profuse sweating, as well as headache, nausea, vomiting, abdominal pain, diarrhea. And I have a headache right now, but that's no cause for alarm in terms of malaria symptoms. So you could well want to check with an expert for a good diagnosis if you have any or more of these symptoms that have been enumerated here. Now, away from that to the sure decline, what seems to be the sure decline of the pride of Africa. Kenya Airways has been flying right into turbulence, as an internal performance report showed it was spending millions of shillings to pay for accommodation for passengers whose flight schedules have been disrupted. Now, the report that reviewed the period between January and August shows that KQ lost up to 100 million shillings to settle these claims. NTV's Kedman Mutai reports in the troubles facing the struggling airline.
The national carrier, the pride of Africa, is now almost a crying shame. Once again, the airline is flying into turbulence as flight delays and cancellations eats into its earnings. The airline has had to dig deeper to pay for accommodation for affected passengers, amounts that now run into millions of shillings. According to an internal performance report seen by NTV, a total of 542 flights have been cancelled since January this year. This has forced the airline to spend at least 118 million shillings to accommodate affected passengers. The documents further shows that among other reasons for the cancellations, a shortage of staff was a major contributor to the woes facing the airline. A total of 182 crew members failed to turn up to work for the period under review. There were 152 cases of grounded aircrafts. Commercial reasons and the prevailing political situation in the country were also to blame for the flight cancellations. The data also shows that out of 35,000 successful departures for the last 8 months, 22,426 were on time, whereas more than 2,800 flights have suffered a delay of more than an hour. Sources within the airline also say pilots are to blame amid claims that they have been boycotting duty and shielding themselves with a deal signed under the collective bargaining agreement. According to the Kenya Airline Pilots Association, the CBA does not allow the airline to recruit more pilots, leaving only 430 of them to operate the national carriers fleet. KQ scored a measly position 7 out of 13 in the airline arrival performance rankings. South African Airways recorded an 85% on-time arrival, followed by Oman Air, Air Arabia, Qatar Airways, Emirates, and Turkish Airlines. According to the airline's audited financial results for the year 2018, its losses grew to 7.5 billion shillings, up from 6.4 billion shillings in 2017. Kevin Mutai, NTV, Mombasa.
7 suspects have been arrested in Mombasa in connection to drug trafficking. The 7, including a police officer in Diani, Kwale County, are believed to be involved in the wider drug trade in the coastal region. The regional commissioner, John Lungata, said anti-narcotics detectives have also recovered cocaine and heroin worth 18 million shillings. Among those arrested was Saeed Mohammed Abdallah, a suspect said to be on the government's radar. Saeed has reportedly been enjoying police protection. Mombasa-based businessman Omar Sharif Hussein was also arrested today as police believe he recently shipped cocaine from Brazil. 3 vehicles which the suspects are believed to have used to either enter or leave the country have also been impounded. Detectives say the government's war on drugs is yet to net the big fish, but are piecing together information that they hope to use.
Na imekuwa ndefu. Kwa hivyo hawa ni kati ya wale walikuwa wametangulia na tumewapata, na kuna wale tulikuwa tumetanguliza wiki jana kupeleka kotini. Kwa hivyo tushirikiane ili sehemu yetu ya Likoni iwe safi, ili sehemu yetu ya Nyali iwe safi, Kisauni iwe safi.
And to focus on the big count, police in Kisumu County are hunting a 3-man gang that raped a census enumerator last night. Nyanza police boss Vincent Makoha disclosed that detectives had obtained crucial leads and would soon bring the perpetrators to book. Here's Okokusa with that report.
According to police, the woman in her mid-20s was attacked around 1:30 a.m., moments after her supervisor dropped her off some 100 meters away from her aunt's house, located here.
The supervisor did not wait until when she entered her gate. So kind of he left before she entered into the house. And so in the process, she was waylaid by the criminals.
The machete-wielding gang made away with the victim's phone worth 19,000 shillings, a torch and a power bank.
They raped her, and when she made some noise, police officers together with some village neighbors came to her rescue.
A relative who declined to speak on camera owing to the sensitivity of the matter told us that after raping her, the gang members escorted the victim to her aunt's house where they disappeared into the dark as she waited for the door to be opened. She was later rushed to a nearby hospital.
Her condition currently is stable. She's stable. She has been cancelled, and she had her people, her relatives, her friends came and they really supported her. Okay. So we'll continue seeing her in a period every 2 weeks for counseling and continue with the medication that she was given.
The woman was part of a team of enumerators deployed to conduct the exercise at Maseno University. Among the people who have recorded statements with the police is the content supervisor who was driving the car that dropped her home.
We have made some arrests which will lead us into actually closing into the real persons. But so far we have suspects whom we are already questioning.
Meanwhile, 2 people were last night arrested in Nyalenda Estate for refusing to participate in the exercise. Kisumu County Commander Benson Maweu said the 2, a man and a woman, chased away enumerators, forcing police to intervene. Okukusa, NTV, Kisumu.
Meanwhile, government spokesman Colonel Cyrus Oguna says the census is also aimed at weeding out illegal immigrants, and thus people will be required to give out their ID numbers. He dismissed claims that the government was planning to use the ID numbers to monitor and spy on citizens.
This process is also aimed at weeding out people who have got fake identity cards. So when you are asked for these ID numbers, or passport numbers, please be able to provide them, because it is not aimed at monitoring your activities, it's not aimed at anything else, but it's aimed at ensuring that those who have got these identity cards are Kenyan, but those who do not have identity cards and are Kenyan, then arrangements should be made for them to be able to acquire them. So please cooperate in that area.
Kuhesabu watu sio kama uchaguzi sijui ati lazima baada ya wiki ya siku mbili tujue matokeo. Hapana, ni jambo huchukua muda. Vile uliona tukiuliza maswali mingi hapa, kuchapisha results za census pia huchukua muda. Kwa hivyo watu wasubiri, tufanye vile ambavyo tunafanya, lakini ukweli wa mambo ni kuwa kwa vile tunatumia hii teknolojia ya dijitali, hatutamaliza mwaka mmoja kabla hatutajua matokeo. Itakuja baada ya miezi 3. Kwa hivyo tuwe na subira.
A man has been arrested at Namanjalala, Kitale, Trans Nzoia County for barring census officials carrying out their work. In Eldoret, an enumerator was injured as he tried to get away from a group of youth who wanted to steal his tablet. Here's a quick look at the census night that was.
Security has been beefed up along Kenya-Uganda border to ensure all Kenyans living along the border participate in the ongoing census. Trans Nzoia County Commissioner Sam Ojwang said they have partnered with the government of Uganda to restrict movement along the border. In Kajiado County, the exercise took off amid fears of wildlife attacks in remote villages. Police officers provided security for the enumerators who are expected to work in the next 1 week to cover the vast county. However, culturally, the Maasai community do not count their children. It is feared this might affect the exercise. In Eldoret, an enumerator was last night injured and his tablet damaged as he tried to escape from youth who wanted to steal his tablet. He was, however, rescued by security and issued with a new one and will be discharging his duties as planned. Residents in some parts of the county also refused to open their doors to the enumerators.
Tutajuaje hawa ni watu ya sensa na hawana uniform kama mwingine hawana uniform? Tutajuaje hawa ni watu ya sensa? Ya pili, hawakuwa na security. Alafu mimi pali nimesirika sana. Kama jana bwana, nimeambiwa ikifika saa 11 nikuwe kwa nyumba. Na sasa mimi hiyo saa 11 ndo naanzanga kufanya kazi yangu. Sasa mimi kama mkazi nitoke kufanya kazi yangu, nitafanya kazi gani nyingine saa hii?
And a section of residents from Elbagon town in Molosop County complained that the exercise was taking up much of their social life. This also follows the government's directive that entertainment spots will be closed during this time.
Hii ndio masaa yetu. Si mkujage kuchukua hiyo nini asubuhi. Kutoka asubuhi mnatuchukua hiyo maneno inaisha. Sisi tunaingia mahali tunaingia tunaenda.
In Nairobi, street families were among those counted. Halima Gongo, NTV.
Well, as the census enters day 2, or at least is in day 2, Kenyans who are yet to be counted have been encouraged to cooperate fully with the enumerators and provide accurate data. The government says the data will inform the policy direction the country takes over the next 10 years, even as it seeks to distinguish between the purposes of the data collected in the Huduma Number registration drive and the census. NTV's Olive Burrows has more.
The countdown is done and the count has begun. Leaders both at the national and county levels leading the way in an effort to reframe the narrative around the census so that the populace will view it not as a tedious and bothersome process, but a process critical to the delivery of services.
We do this because we know that census data is an important tool for gathering the information necessary for effective planning and monitoring of development in our country.
And on account of the electronic capture of the data, the authorities say the citizenry will not have to look too far into the future to reap the policy benefits, but will experience its impact real time in as little as 3 months.
After we have done this census, try to get this data that is collected, look at it and see how valuable it is.
And with the advent of devolved units, Kenyans are particularly keen to know how the census data will inform the sharing out of limited resources.
Census inamaanisha kwamba tunapokuwa wengi ndiposa pia pesa zinatoka kule national government zitakuja kwa wingi.
Ukiangalia kaunti ya Kiambu tumeongezeka. Ukiangalia wakaaji hapa buildings tumeongezeka sana, wakaaji wenye wamekuja hapa wametoka mahali pengine, wamezaliwa hapa. Kwa hivyo wakati tunaona ni vizuri tufanye kitu kuwe straightforward.
Ukiangalia huku kwa hospitali saa zingine huwa hatupati dawa. Saa zingine ukiangalia infrastructure ambayo iko pale hospitali inataka kupanuliwa. Watu ambao wanaenda pale ni wengi, lakini sehemu ni ndogo.
With devolution, what comes out is more demand for data.
With 5 more days left to the conclusion of the exercise, the leadership is keen to impress upon the citizenry that the census is an opportunity for a government that may have lost touch with the household realities to touch base and reevaluate its priorities.
A census would give you information up to the lowest level. And in this era of sustainable development, goals of ensuring that you leave no one behind, you need to do the census to provide with the baseline.
Olive Burrows, NTV.
NTV Weekend Edition takes a quick break, but when we come back, we name the firms polluting rivers in Nairobi.
When the spirit of Kenya got going that magical day, it never looked back. And now, the same spirit is ready to take Kenya to the next level, led proudly by a new generation. Shangilia, hustle ya Kenya.
Who wants to answer? Mary?
Mary has a toothache.
Oh, I see. And who knows why?
Because the tooth is too big.
No, it might be a hole in her tooth called a cavity.
That's why I brush twice a day using Colgate. Imagine this is your tooth and these are food acids that cause cavities. Colgate with calcium and fluoride helps prevent cavities
for maximum cavity protection.
and now available in a 12-gram sachet for fresh breath. Only 15 shillings.
Mzee, I'm hungry.
Yes, with some extra fries. Delivery on the way.
So extra.
Aren't you tired of hoping for no candidates to see
So extra.
Has to be extra because extra data is always better with extra minutes. Dial *544# to subscribe and share live extra. Telkom, moving with you.
Sensitivity is a short, sharp pain that people experience when they have something hot or cold getting to the nerve of the tooth, causing that discomfort. If the sensitivity is left alone, it may get worse. Dentists recommend Sensodyne to their patients. It's able to get inside the tooth and calm the nerve of the tooth down, and the proof's in the results. It works.
Now you can get your Uber ride with a phone call. Call 0800 722 000 to ride.
Welcome to Kids Technical College. Our priority is to prepare you for opportunities in a career of your choice. We train diploma, certificate and artisan courses in business, development, health sciences, hospitality, ECDE, sign language, ICT, driving, CASNEB courses and many more. We are a registered NEC examination center and are accredited by TVETA, CASNEB, KNDI and NITA. Intake is ongoing. Kids Technical College, creating opportunities.
Mbele iko sawa nimecheck. Na leo nadai moja ya power that I will never forget. Drop me your pin and a location. Staki stories za simu, mistaki my conversations. Staki utanipata kwenye gate kama ni appointment. You know that I won't be late. No, hii story najua well na relate. So katambe mtu mbili sote tu participate.
Leo nimekam ku get down. Leo nimekam ku get busy. You've been on my case for a while, but baby I am not that easy. I'm feeling some type of way. Nishike kama siku za mwizi, tupige kama gym tuko tizi, nipike kama toke mandizi. Yeah. Today is your lucky day. What you gonna do now that you have me all to yourself? So come and get this before we get down to business. Baby, now my lover, number one lover. Baby, now my lover, number one lover.
Welcome back. The rehabilitation and restoration of the Nairobi River basin has been a topic of discussion for almost 2 decades. And in the past 2 weeks, after an expose by the nation team, government agencies tasked with implementing the rehabilitation of the river have, in typical fashion, engaged in blame games. What has not been acknowledged, though, is the fact that those responsible for the troubles facing Nairobi River are large industries discharging waste into the river, and none of the agencies seems to have the ability to take any action. Zainab Ismail reports.
Efforts to clean Nairobi River have for long remained a distant dream. Years down the line, the ambitious plan is yet to yield concrete results. An expose by the Nation and NTV team on the sorry state of the river has jolted responsible agencies with each keen to show that it cares, promising to revive the lost glory of the river.
I'm happy because we are joining hands with the DPP. We are joining hands with the DCI to help us in this, to curb this madness.
We are trying to really upscale this activity. We want to bring everybody on board, so that it is the government working on this, not just NEMA or even Water Resource Authority.
This is Kamongo Waste Paper Limited, an industry situated along Kampala Road in Nairobi's industrial area. The paper packaging firm recycles waste paper. That's where the good story ends. Hidden from the view in the backyard next to the recycled paper drying area lies the septic overflow tank. A dull greyish-brown color discharge fills the tank. When it overflows, it is allowed to flow into the sewer system through an outlet. Evidently untreated. Our attempts to interview the management about the situation were unsuccessful, as we were told the waste management experts were away on a trip. It is a scenario that is replicated in many other factories here. We visited several other industries in the area that were cited for failing to comply with the city's water quality laws in the past year. Our efforts to talk to the managers in charge, however, proved futile. Documents seen by NTV furnished by an anonymous source within the Nairobi City Water and Sewerage Company revealed that more than 20 industries that have been in operation for years were yet to set up a water treatment facility by last year, a key requirement before discharging and disposing trade effluent into the sewer line. Some of these companies include Quick Park Limited, South Africa Kenya Limited, East African Tanners, Amin Tanneries, Thorlight Kenya, Schneider Electric, Dera Chemicals, Twin Africa Holdings, Genitems Limited, Apex Coating East Africa Limited, Twiga Stationers and Printers Limited, Propac Kenya Limited, PZ Cassons, Sphinx Pharmaceuticals Limited, and Dagoretti Slaughterhouse.
We also have industries, of course, that are also complicating our rivers by putting their waste on rivers. So that is the challenge that we have as we see it. And what it means, we need to empower our regulatory authorities.
We are telling the manufacturers, those who have industries, if you are using water to do your business or to manufacture whatever you are manufacturing, kindly make sure that you are connected to the sewer line. If you are not connected to the sewer line, wherever you are in the country, not only in Nairobi, if you are not connected to the sewer line, make sure that you connect, all right? If not so, close the shop.
We've closed down 48 facilities along the Nairobi River, and I think more than 50% have complied. The rest will ensure they comply.
Most of these companies were shut down for not having waste paper pre-treatment systems in place, hence discharging raw sewage into the sewer line or into the environment. According to the Water Act 2016, Section 1084, consent to discharge effluent into the sewer line may be given subject to conditions which include conditions requiring pre-treatment. In May this year, as NEMA came knocking, Gill Oil Industries, a cooking oil manufacturer, was the first to be shut down following accusations of failure to comply with regulations.
Nairobi is a government agency that is working with us, but which is directly involved in this.
It has not been the first time fingers have been pointed at the Nairobi Water and Sewerage Company.
The main suspects, we have them, and I mention them now. One of them, Nairobi Water.
NEMA asked the Urban Water Company to address the illegal discharges within industrial area. Most of these discharges find their way into Nairobi River as industries in the area are connected to sewer lines which are not functional. NEMA also issued Nairobi Water Company restoration orders to repair several damaged manholes across the country. When the city's water services body ignored court orders, NEMA obtained a warrant of arrest against the chief executive, Nahashon Muguna, last week. The bid to arrest him failed after he escaped the dragnet set by officers sent to his office to take him into custody.
We've sent out someone. We are going to arrest him and charge him for these issues. Because the main challenge is basically the sewer system is dysfunctional. It's not working. And they are discharging raw sewage into our rivers.
All the summons issued by NEMA in the past have been acted on. And actually the effluent you see in the rivers is not directly from the Nairobi City Water and Sewerage Company, trunk sewers or sewer lines. Most of it emanates from informal settlements which have no sewer systems.
According to the water company, the problem is the aging sewerage system which allows the effluent to leak into the river. But our source from the company dismissed those claims. The source intimated to us that some senior staff at Nairobi Water allowed individuals and companies to discharge contaminated effluent into the sewer line, this despite having a license.
If the laws have a challenge, then we need to amend them. But for now, we have adequate laws. It's a question of enforcement. And we have put the enforcement agencies on notice. That is the Water Resource Management Authority, and then, of course, the NEMA itself.
Now we are going to take our booklet to the DPP, because we have them like this. We'll tell them this institution or this company, we have issued them 20, 30, 40 restoration orders. They have not taken an action. Bwana DPP, a nonsense, no nonsense guy, take over.
We want to ensure that we upscale our enforcement actions and ensure all these agencies must and will comply.
The existing Nairobi sewer network, built in 1961, was meant to serve a population of less than 1 million. Despite the numerous attempts to restore Nairobi River over the past decades, the river continues to choke with garbage, industrial waste, agro and petrochemicals, heavy metals and other pollutants, which have caused the extinction of aquatic life and turned the river into an eyesore. Zainab Ismail, NTV.
And as she was watching this, Wandia Njua says, thank you for sticking with this story, the toxic flow. Push it until these bureaucrats in the government get out of their posh offices and stop the poisoning of our country. And we definitely will continue with the toxic flow focus. And in case you missed the names that were listed there in Zainab Ismail's report that have been found to be polluting the Nairobi River, we'll be posting it on NTV YouTube page for you to watch at your convenience. And in case you missed the story that we aired earlier, this is on the Kenya Airways, quite a damning report, an internal performance report showing that you're spending millions of shillings to pay for accommodation for passengers whose flight schedules have been disrupted. And that report reviewed the period between January and August and shows that KQ lost up to 100 million shillings to settle these claims. And if you missed that one, we'll also have a full report on the Daily Nation tomorrow. So coming up as we take a break. Designed to accommodate the elderly, church in Baringo opens its doors for us after this short break.
Investing in the taxi business just got bigger and better with Maridadi Motors Smart PSVs. Buy a Smart Cab Plus from us at 1.25 million shillings and get 47,000 every month. A Smart Chop Chop Cab at 675,000 shillings and get 25,000 every month. Best news yet, we manage the cab for you and give you guaranteed returns every month. Maridadi Motors, move your status.
It's okay, I'm okay.
What happened?
It's just a little scratch, Mom. How can I play with bigger boys? If I'm afraid of little scratches, right?
What comforts a mother most is to see her child growing up.
Done, I'll go.
Of course. But I know that as he learns to be brave, he will face even more germs and the risk of infection.
That's why you need strong Dettol protection, because Dettol kills 100 illness-causing germs.
Growing up needs Dettol protection.
You in the pollution? Yes, you. Dry throat? Strepsils. Gal in the smoke with a raspy voice? Strepsils. Hello, in the downpour with a scratchy throat? Take Strepsils. Get soothing relief for any throat irritation. Strepsils with its medicinal ingredients will heal the harm down to your throat from external factors. Strepsils. Strepsils for a dry, itchy, raspy, scratchy throat.
Rough and tough quality textured coating gives your walls a tough and beautiful finish. Available in over 6,000 shades. It hides surface imperfections. Call us on 0709 887 000 to place your order. Crown. If you like it, crown it.
Making my family some nutritious porridge is a painstaking process. First, I have to find all the ingredients needed, and there are many. For vitamins, proteins, and minerals, I need cassava, sorghum, millet. You no longer need to go through all that to make nutritious porridge. All you need is NutriPro.
You don't have to go through the trouble of finding, measuring, and weighing all these vital ingredients. New NutriPro porridge flour comes fortified with 13 vitamins, proteins, and minerals. This means that you have more time to focus on what's important, giving your family the healthy start they deserve. NutriPro, bringing families together. From Tropical Brand.
Kitambo nikatamani sana kuwa lawyer, nikatamani kuwa pilot. Eventually dream ya ngoma ilikuja ika take over mpaka nikasahau kila kitu.
We're driven by the desire to see people aspire to greatness and achieve it. That's why we create platforms for all to showcase their talents, connecting them to opportunities. Tuko nawe kila wakati.
Mbele iko sawa nimecheck. Na leo nadai moja ya power that I will never forget. Drop me your pin and our location. Staki stories za simu, mistaki my conversations. Utanipata kwenye gate kama ni appointment. You know that I won't be late. Nope. Hii story najua well na relate. So katambe mbili sote to participate. Take a selfie.
Leo nimekam ku get down. Leo nimekam ku get busy. You've been on my case for a while. But baby, I am not that easy. I'm feeling some type of way. Shike kama siku za mwizi. Tupige kama gym tuko tizi. Nipike kama toke mandizi. Yeah. Today is your lucky day. What you gonna do now that you have me all to yourself? So come and get this before we get down to business. Take a selfie. Baby, now my lover. Do a selfie. Number one lover. Take a selfie. Baby, now my lover. Do a selfie. Number one lover.
When the spirit of Kenya got going that magical day, it never looked back. And now, the same spirit is ready to take Kenya to the next level, led proudly by a new generation. Kenya Kin, Shangilia, Hustle ya Kenya.
Thank you for staying with the weekend edition on NTV. Now, Environment Cabinet Secretary Keriako Tobiko has dismissed a section of Rift Valley leaders who met in Nakuru over the second phase of the Mau forest restoration, accusing them of politicizing the eviction. Now, the government plans to kick out about 10,000 people from the forest, even as leaders from the Rift Valley say the area in question was not government land but trust land. Nuru Abdulaziz reports.
On July 25th, Environment Cabinet Secretary Keriako Tobiko announced plans to evict thousands of families from the Mau forest glades, setting off a heated debate among political leaders. More than 30 Rift Valley leaders who met in Nakuru County Saturday claim families targeted in the eviction were living on trust land managed by the Narok County government.
The area earmarked for the purported evictions is going to cause a crisis that cannot be managed by anyone, not even the government of Kenya. There are elaborate procedures of government on how to do compulsory land acquisition. And we are ready to engage together with our community and lead a peaceful resolution to environmental threats in this region.
But the Environment Cabinet Secretary disagrees. He says the area targeted for evictions was declared a crown land in the 1930s and made a national reserve in 1945. It was officially gazetted in 1954 as a forest reserve under the Forest Act. And as leaders debate the eviction, the destruction of the country's green lung and one of the most crucial water towers continues unchecked. The exercise that targets 10,000 people will kick off immediately after the census at the end of the month and will target families living in Sierra Leone, Tendwet, and areas that fall under the four former group ranches, namely Enekishomi, Enosokon, Enkaroni, and Sisian. Rift Valley Regional Coordinator George Natembea will on Monday meet Rift Valley Regional Security Committee members in Nakuru to craft out the final details of the eviction. Since 2005, the Mau Forest eviction has been a sensitive matter. However, the CS says political rhetoric was undermining efforts to save East Africa's largest indigenous forest that is the source of many rivers that support millions of lives and livelihoods in the region. During the first phase of the eviction in July 2018, about 7,700 people were evicted from the forest land, which saw over 12,000 acres of the forest reclaimed. Nuru Abdulaziz, NTV.
Well, here's something you don't get to see every Sunday. Now, for the first time, residents of Eldama Ravine in Baringo County have a church for the elderly who are above the age of 60. The special church attends to the needs of the senior citizens as well as ensuring that they are comfortable, and it is now something of an attraction for many. Sharon Baranga reports.
This is Muserichi in Eldama Ravine, Baringo County. Like in many other places of worship, Sunday service is on at this church. But there's something peculiar about the gathering. All of the congregants are aged about 60 and above. This church was built specifically for them, catering to the needs of those living on the fringes of society and who yet still can't keep up with life's fast pace. Some have lost their ability to see, hear and cannot walk for long distances.
Niliwauliza mbona mwendi kanisa, wengine wao wakasema ni umri, wengine wao pia wakasema ni kwa ajili ya njaa, wengine pia wakasema kwamba tunakula dawa.
The church has a membership of 40 people. Many say they couldn't keep up with the timings and schedule of a normal church. Here, the service is tailored to their needs and pace.
Hata sisi kukwenda kanisa ile kubwa ya watu mingi, sisi tulikaa mpaka sisi hapana sikia kitu, maana hata mpaka nalala. Saa ingine watu wanamwambia sisi twende, sisi nasema amin, na kumbe nasema twende.
Na sababu ya service kuwekwa ikuwe fupi hivyo ni kwa sababu ndio wasichoke. Wako na hekima, ni vile tu mili zimekataa, mili yao imekataa, maana umri pia umezisonga.
One of the church's members offered a place in his farm for the construction of this church for the elderly. The service starts at 7:30 a.m. and ends at 9 a.m. After they are spiritually fed, they will also receive food to strengthen their bodies. Sharon Baranga, NTV.
Good to see that someone cares that our senior residents or citizens are having some spiritual nourishment. To politics, now the Orange Democratic Movement has set in motion its party mechanisms to fill the vacant position of Kibra MP after the IBC gave a nod on the by-elections. Today at the Kamkunji grounds in Kibra constituency, ODM leader Raila Odinga took aspirants on a familiarization tour, where he gave an opportunity for them to make their case on what they intend to do to better the lives of the people of Kibra. The seat fell vacant after the death of Ken Okoth, who succumbed to cancer in July. The aspirants will be expected to forward names to the party headquarters on Tuesday for vetting before they are subjected to a nomination on the 31st of August.
Hapa Kibra, mimi sijui ule mbunge ambaye atateguliwa. We do not know the next member of parliament for Kibra, but we know that the next member of parliament for Kibra will be ODM.
Hapa Kibra ni mahali petu pa siasa. Ningeomba tusaibishe baba. Wacha tupatie baba candidate wa ODM.
Tarehe 31 kutakuwa na mchujo. Na ile kitu mimi nataka kuomba watu wetu wote hapa, tunataka yote yafanyike kwa njia ya amani. Hatutaki fujo siku hiyo. Nataka wanachungwa waonyeshe taifa lote la Kenya ya kama wana ODM ama machua.
Time for another break on NTV Weekend Edition. Coming up, the Amazon is on fire. The military joins the battle to contain the flames. Stay with us.
This is MotoHub, ultimately Kenya's finest car dealer company. Our cars are carefully sourced and selected, backed up with excellent skilled personnel. Our aim is to ensure value for your money as well as peace of mind.
When it comes to affordability check, reliability check, finance check, quality redefined check, any type of car check. Whenever you need that dream car, tutembele. Mambo hapa yamenyooka nyoro nyoro.
So, are you in need of a car? Now you know. MotoHub, we are quality redefined.
Hey, mister. Where you going?
Men clean their cars themselves. I also clean my own bike. I'm grown up now.
Then you'll need this. The most pleasant surprise for a mother is to see her child growing up. But I know as he learns to take more responsibility, he'll face more dirt, germs, and the risk of illness.
That's why you need strong Dettol protection, because Dettol cleans and protects against 100 illness-causing germs.
Growing up needs Dettol protection.
Sona moja imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli ili kupambana na maumivu kwa haraka. Sona moja ina aspirin kama kiungo. Sona moja, kitulizo kamili. Maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari.
Breakfast is not complete without the new Minute Maid Nutri-Defense's Nectar Plus. Complete the most important meal of the day with the goodness of great-tasting juice fortified with vitamin E and zinc to complement your family's nutritional needs. Minute Maid Nutri-Defense's Nectar Plus. Breakfast complete.
Looking for an institution to further your studies and wholesome growth in a serene environment? Kenya Methodist University KEMU is your best choice. Join our market-driven programs at Diploma, Bachelor's, Master's and PhD in Meru, Nairobi and Mombasa campuses and shape your career path. September 2019 and January 2020 intakes are ongoing. Call us today on 0724 256 162 or 0725 751-878. Kenya Methodist University. The future is here.
Simple Loaf, slices of life.
Kitambo nilikuwa natamani sana kuwa lawyer, nikatamani kuwa pilot. Eventually dream ya ngoma ilikuja ikatake over mpaka nikasahau kila kitu.
We're driven by the desire to see people aspire to greatness and achieve it. That's why we create platforms for all to showcase their talents, connecting them to opportunities. Tuko nawe kila wakati.
When the spirit of Kenya got going that magical day, it never looked back. And now, the same spirit is ready to take Kenya to the next level, led proudly by a new generation. Kenya Kin, Shangilia, Hustle ya Kenya.
NTV Weekend Edition continues with the headlines from around the world. I will start with the story on South African authorities that impounded a plane belonging to Tanzania's national carrier. The Air Tanzania aircraft was seized on Friday at the OR Tambo International Airport following a Johannesburg High Court order over a farmer's $33 million compensation claims, I should say, for his land, which the Tanzanian government nationalized decades ago. In the 1980s, Tanzania's government nationalized a massive privately owned bean and seed farm, seizing everything, including equipment, 250 cars and 12 small planes. The farmer was awarded $33 million in compensation in the 1990s, but the government only paid £20 million. Now, snakes were the only sign of life in a section of the charred Amazon rainforest. It's a bit scary. In Rondônia, the smell of death filled the air as the carcass of a cow lay along a track to the Amazon jungle. 6 states in Brazil's Amazon region requested military help to combat record fires that are tearing through the rainforest. Fighter planes were seen hovering the sky, drenching the area with much needed water. The Amazon is the world's largest tropical rainforest, and its protection is seen as vital to the fight against climate change because of the vast amounts of carbon dioxide it absorbs. Now, Hong Kong police used water cannons for the first time during the mass pro-democracy protests that have gripped Hong Kong for the last 3 months. An afternoon rally in the district of Tsuen Wan spiraled into violent running confrontations between protesters and police, with officers several times caught outnumbered and isolated by masked youth wielding sticks and throwing rocks. And finally, French police used tear gas and water cannons to break up anti-G7 protesters in the southern city of Baringo as the world leaders arrived for the G7 summit in France. Now, hundreds of people took part in the demonstration, chanting anti-capitalist slogans and holding stolen portraits of French President Emmanuel Macron, which were held upside down. Now, since Monday, activists opposing capitalism and globalization and environmentalists have rallied to express their opposition to the policies of the G7 member states. From the headlines around the world, let's look at what you can expect in this coming week. A wanted suspect drug trafficker Ali Punjani is tomorrow expected back in the country. The businessman is scheduled to jet back through the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport in Nairobi at 10:20 a.m. Police say Punjani will be arrested for interrogation as soon as he lands. Now, he has been in India for the past 3 weeks, where he underwent an open heart surgery. The second phase of the Mao Forest evictions is expected to start soon after the census exercise that ends on Saturday. The evictions are aimed at restoring the Mao water catchment forest that has thinned out over the years due to deforestation. Now, about 10,000 people will be moved in this eviction process, with Rift Valley Regional Commissioner George Natembeya expected to chair a meeting with local leaders tomorrow to map out the process. Something else to look forward to as well. And President Uhuru Kenyatta is tomorrow expected to flag off the first ever shipment of 200,000 barrels of crude oil from Kenya. The vessel carrying the oil will leave the Mombasa port at mid-morning for Malaysia. The sail is expected to give momentum to the country's fledgling oil industry. Now, here's a part of the broadcast where we go a bit off beat and honestly a bit cuckoo. Speaking of beat, apparently it's a thing. 20 hopefuls from around the world donned...
So, like, you know, when he said that he's not ready...
together like that. Askari mwenye aliingia, nadhani hajawahi patana na maiti ikiwa serious. Enda kulete kichwa, tukakutana ya neke. Niligonga jeneza, wakaachilia korami paragachani karuka nene, wakasema shaitani. Polisi mbio, mimi mbio, raia mbio kuondoka. Nisikia mama moja ameuliza iko nini? Nikamwambia wauone maiti imeanguka.
The Wicked Edition, every Friday from 7:30 p.m. only on NTV.
Jina la Yesu litafika everywhere. Hakuna kama Yesu na gwara gwara gwara.
Nasikia ulidai, nasikia Amina ulidai, uko juu sana, nasikia ulijidai. When the rap king utaitwa Foma Sahi, wewe ni fala, ono mesleki, mimi mjanja, wewe ni rapper fake.
Bum, shake your bum bum, bum bum, shake your bum bum bum. I make you dance, giddy 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 go down, giddy 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 go down, giddy 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 giddy.
Basi hapa ndipo na ndipo hapa. Kwa majina wananiita Trevor.
Wanajitambua, yani wale wanajiamini. Yani someone took their sweet time and thought about us.
Rembo TV, simply beautiful. Just as you'd study for an exam, study up on the field that interests you and the position you hope to achieve. Knowing the ins and outs of your preferred career path will help you enter the job market with eyes wide open.
At Amboseli Institute of Hospitality and Technology, we take your future seriously. We produce highly skilled graduates in hospitality, tourism, fashion, and design. Think quality, think future, think Amboseli Institute. Enroll today.
Nation FM. More music and less talk.
Nairobi 96.3, Mombasa 101.5, Meru 93.9, Nyeri 104.9, Eldoret 102.7, and Nakuru on 97.7. Follow us on social media on Facebook at Nation FM, Instagram at Nation FM, and on Twitter at Nation FM KE. Nation FM. More music and less talk.
It's time to play. Welcome to NTV Sports. I am Warote Kiru. Kenyan Premier League defending champions Gor Mahia are through to the first round of the CAF Champions League after an emphatic 5-1 aggregate win over Aigul Noir of Burundi. In the first round, Kogalo will face either USM Alger of Algeria or Sonidep of Niger, who play later on tonight. Gor Mahia and Aigul Noir had settled for a barren draw in the CAF Champions League preliminary round first leg played in Bujumbura. Kogalo side with a bang and Boniface Omondi's pace in the flanks led to a Kenneth Muguna shot being deflected into the net for a 9th minute lead. In the 17th minute, a Lawrence Juma corner was headed in by Nicholas Kipkirui. 9 minutes before the break, Kipkirui scored his second, with Gor Mahia going into the break leading 3-0. New signing Dixon Ambundo then grabbed his debut goal for Kogalo just after the hour mark. Ambundo then provided the assist for Boniface Omondi, who made it 5-0 in the 70th minute. The Burundians grabbed a late consolation as a new coach Stephen Pollack enjoyed a 5-1 aggregate win in his first continental outing with Gor Mahia.
No, football is, you want to entertain people, and I have to be really proud of my boys. I've been here 2 weeks. I've had about 8 training sessions, so they're getting to understand what I want from them, and it's going to get better and better.
I thank all the players and especially the fans. I think for now, if you look at, we are not going to the next round immediately. We have to face Tusker, which is the next task. So we don't focus on the next round. We just have to go each game at a time.
It is highly likely that Gor will face USM Alger of Algeria in the next round. The two sides were both in Group D of last season's CAF Confederation Cup, and they drew 0-0 at Kasarani before USM won 2-1 in Algiers. Congratulations to Kogalo. And the world 800 meters record holder David Rudisha is nursing minor injuries after he was involved in a road accident along the Kisike-Roka highway early this morning. Rudisha was driving his V8 engine Toyota when its tire burst near Keroka town, hitting an ENA coach bus head-on. According to Stephen Olemarai, Rudisha's friend and neighbor, the world-beaten athlete was treated at a hospital in Keroka and later moved to the Kilgoris sub-county hospital. The celebrated athlete then recorded a statement with the police over the accident, and also he took to social media to assure his fans of his well-being. The national women's swimming team added to Kenya's medal haul at the ongoing African Games in Rabat, Morocco, with a bronze medal in the 4x400 meters medley. The team, comprised of sisters Maria and Sylvia Brun-Lenha, Rebecca Kamau, as well as Emily Moteti, Kenya has won 5 medals, 2 silver, 3 bronze. After a staggering start, Kenya's boxing team seems to have found its footing, with numerous boxers sailing into the semis. This include Nick Okot in featherweight, Shafi Bakari in flyweight, Boniface Maina in welterweight, and Frederick Ramogi in super heavyweight. On Monday, the Malkia strikers will battle Senegal, looking to build on their revenge win over Cameroon on Saturday. Let's walk the greens and golf parks Jacob Okello, Railways Alfred Nandwa, and Mumias Sugar's Dismas Indiza returned scores of level par 71 to lead the field after round 1 of the Safari Tour Golf Series season opener at the Nyali Golf and Country Club. Dennis Seikwa and amateur golfer Daniel Lenduva are tied in 4th place with a 1 over par score of 72. Rookie Matthew Wahome made a good account of himself with a round of 73 in what was his first tournament as a golf professional. Rizan Charania, Tony Omuli, Simon Ngigi, and Greg Snow finished with a 3 over par score of 74, with temperatures of over 25 degrees Celsius and swelling winds for the better part of the day. Scoring conditions were tough for the 46 professional and elite amateur golfers.
NTV, mambo yote.
What shall I render to Jehovah? For he has done so very much for me.
Take me a little deeper. I wanna know your heart. Fill me up, God. Fill me up, God. Jesus, you love me too much, oh. Too much, oh. Too much, oh, excess love, oh.
Consuming fire, burn it away. Burn it away.
Not the power, your spirit, send your spirit down, not by might,
Right, left, right, left, right, and turn around.
From the garden I'll bring you some salad and it will make you feel better for sure. Oh mama, no, 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 that will be bad for me mama, I know. From the garden I'll bring you a husband and it will make you feel better for sure. Oh mama, yes, yes.
Thank you, Arul. Actually, it's a segment called The Forgotten Holidays, and I actually almost forgot about it, and I wouldn't be forgiven by the NTV Weekend Edition team. So let's start with my director wants me to start with the best part. We had 3 others, but anyway, let's just start with it because the others are not ready. And this is the National Kiss Day. August the 25th is actually the National Kiss and Make-up Day. And yes, this reminds us to end the quarrels and, oh, that looks quite intimate. Yes, end the quarrels, arguments, and one perfect way is to, as the name suggests, as you can see there in the picture, kiss and make up. So come on, go on. Kama mekosana nyumbani, just give that kiss. To my director and Kanyax, who's behind the teleprompter, you can make up and kiss just to show by mode of example there. And if your man has said he's not going to kiss you, let me blow a kiss to you, ladies. That's just to the ladies. And to the next one. This is Gikosh Day. I could call it Gikosh Day, National Second-Hand Wardrobe Day, and a day set aside for buying clothes second-hand and donating your used clothing creates, of course, a positive cycle that is crucial for cutting back our waste. So I say, twendeni Gikosh tununue nguo. All right, and for some reason, my director has lost the tag for our Whiskey Sour Day, and that's not to say his choice of drink, but yes, it is meant to be a day where you enjoy whiskey sour with a friend, but yes, I guess God's plans, you know, supersede our thinking and all our planning. Maybe there's a reason why it was forgotten. That's it for NTV Weekend Edition. David Agondoa, have yourself a good night. Thank you for your help in the sign language interpretation. Thank you for watching. Good night.